Shifters. This week, Mets rejoins us after, what, a 2-3 week hiatus?
I think it's 4.
We also have Paul. Hi, Paul.
Maybe.
Paul's head is nice and shiny today.
Shiny, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Got a bit of a t-shirt tan.
Proof you were outside.
Yeah, I've definitely been touching some grass this weekend.
Matt,
which has
how was
been nice.
how was your time away?
Yeah, vacation was good. It's good to sort of step out of your day-to-day, week-to-week routine and just be somewhere else. And I'm not going to start like hammering on the game, but just not thinking about FC for a week or two. And I didn't manage to get sunburnt for a change, which was good. Although, like, if I showed you my arms and my back, I've got a little bit of a slightly darker shade going on, but no redness. So that's a success for me.
Yep. Cool. Well.
Oh, I've got one interesting story to tell you very quickly before we get into the relevant stuff.
This is relevant.
I was on the flight to Mallorca and was wearing my earpods on the plane. AirPods, whatever you call them. And I decided to go to the toilet, do my business.
Noise cancelling was on?
What?
Was your noise cancelling on?
No, these don't have noise cancelling, these ones. So lean over to hit the flush. One of them pops out of my ear straight down the pan.
No
so
way.
Did you go right in after it?
Yeah. I scrambled, got my hand in there.
Oh, no
filthy,
way.
Fucking dirty. And it just so happened that on this particular flight, they couldn't load up with water for like the toilet facilities and stuff. So there was no like it floating. It just went straight down there. So
even if you got it back, would you want to wear it?
Well, you have to try, don't you? If it's just like a little dip, 5-second rule and all that.
Mm-mm.
But it was long gone. So
that sucker would have been gone.
I've been tracking it on like Find My, and it's like thousands of miles away. So
Brilliant.
So I had to buy like a spare one when I got home. So all my vacation, I was listening to like music and podcasts with one earpod, like a degenerate. So I thought it was pretty funny. I saw the funny side of it, and I'll never wear them on the toilet again.
That is quite funny. And
I'm actually surprised you went in after it like that. That's crazy.
It was just instinct. I didn't like have time to think about it. You just like you see it going, you're like try and catch, and then hand went in. It's like no getting that. It was pretty gross.
Yeah.
Not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I can imagine.
All that to like save a few quid. But anyway.
How far into the flight was it?
Oh, right at the beginning.
Oh,
All
that
right,
sucks.
So it's only like a 2-hour flight, so that's not a big deal. But having the whole
but
holiday
also,
without an earpod,
I'd rather have it at the beginning of the flight than at the end where people have been shitting all over that thing for a couple of hours. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm sure they emptied it out, but from the flight before that.
Yeah.
That shit been festering for a week.
Anyway, so don't wear your earpods on the John.
It's good to know. Good to think. Yeah. All right. That said, what do you think about foot content lately? Shapeshifters. Are you in it? Are you out?
Me?
Yeah. Do you love it?
I don't mind it as a concept. I like it when it's earlier on in the cycle, when it's winter wildcards type kind of stuff. I think none of this that's come out in the last 2 weeks impresses me whatsoever, purely because all the cards are just too well rounded to give a shit about. Like, if none of them are flawed, then what's the point? We're just like sticking really tall goalkeepers up front and they can do everything. Like, what's the point? It doesn't do anything for me at this stage of the game. This sort of thing needs to come earlier, so you can conceptualize an interesting position change and them have strengths and weaknesses, whereas these don't have weaknesses, generally speaking, other than you might like put a centre back up front and remove some of their defending or whatever. But generally speaking, in the position they're supposed to be playing in, they're kind of perfect, which is just boring. Yeah. That doesn't do anything for me in the slightest. And I also noticed there's quite a few cards that were just in Team of the Season who have got cards in this. I mean, what is the point of that? Like, I'm sure they can plan a little bit ahead to not just keep repeating the same contents. So who, I don't know if anyone was as an example, screaming out for a midfield Lautaro Martinez. But it's not exactly an in-demand card in his most elite form as a striker, so you weren't getting people's juices flowing by sticking with a midfield, I don't think. But yeah, this sort of thing would be more than welcome at any stage prior to like team of the season. Afterwards, it's just whatever. It's just not doing it for me, unfortunately. You're on mute, mate.
Every week I do it at least once. I was going to say, I was so excited about Shapeshifter's team too that I didn't check it until this morning, and the content's been out for almost 4 days now. Paul, because I have so much I want to say about it. What do you think about it?
I quite like it. Do you know what I mean? I think the choices of cards, there's some cards there that I really wanted to use, and I've used maybe 2 or 3 of these. I used Saka for a little bit, but he's got a 4-star weak foot at Cam at this stage of the game. Like, these cards,
Everything should be 5, right?
what, like, yeah, we should be at 5-5 at this stage.
I got to sell you something though. What with those egos?
But like, we're at the stage now where there's like an unlimited pack grind. Give us a 5-star weak foot.
Yeah.
Saka, McTominay, like, make him 5-star. Like, it'd be quite fun, wouldn't it, with 5-star skills? But I'm not asked about using a McTominay striker that's not got 5-star skills. I'm not that asked about using a McTominay striker anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, you know, then we've got some other cards which are really meta. We've got Theo Hernandez, CDM. Relatively cheap, 630k. Rodri centre-back, he'll be an absolute beast. I think I'll use him at some point. All the ones that you can pack are just shit. You know, I've packed that Almiron about 15 times.
I packed him a few times too.
But yeah, it's nice. Bobby Charlton, I used his CM card a little bit. I don't know why he's got centre back. Like, nobody's using 3'7" centre back either. If you are, you're at a huge disadvantage. But yeah, I like. It's got some big boy icons in this team, which I like. You've got Ronaldinho, Cruyff. I've used neither yet, but I will do. I've used Cafu a fair bit from last week a little bit. He was beastly. Packed Steven Gerrard. I've not used him. He's 40k. Like, what? I don't know if he's gonna be usable, but you know, there's just so many cards, and I think I'm at that stage where I'm just a bit tired of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much to use. You can't pack any of them, even if you want to. And I've been absolutely smashing them exchanges, like ridiculous amounts of those exchanges. And I'm not just talking about now, I'm talking about through the whole team of the season. I've done more upgrades than I'd like to admit, and I've not packed one elite card.
Do you think if you did, though, it would stimulate you to play more, given that you are feeling fatigued?
Oh, I'm still playing the game. I'm enjoying playing the game. I think I am fatigued with the grind, to be honest, and that's probably on me a little bit. But the fatigue comes from being frustrated by it, by putting time and effort in. Weekend league as well, putting time and effort in and being like, man, I can't even get one card that goes into my team on merit. There's lots of cards that I've packed that have gone into my team just for fun. You know, I won't use them in champs. I'll use them in rivals. I won't use them in champs. But none have gone in. You know, there's none really gone into my team on merit. I think McTominay and Shaqiri were the only cards that sort of from team of the season that got into my team on merit. The rest have just been mad, and they've not given us any SBCs where you're like, and I don't know.
Hasn't been a compelling SBC for me for months. That's like a
Thuram
really
was the
big
best one, I think,
problem.
and I didn't even do him because I already had cards from Team of the Year. Like, I think we need SBCs that keep with a power curve. Timo Werner, like, he's not doing anything for anyone. It's a fun card, but like I say again, it's a fun card. It's not a card that we're doing because he's getting into anyone's team on merit. Berbatov. Oh, don't even get me started on these cards where you've got to do the SBC or they give you a card for free, but then you've got to go spend your money or your coins on an Evo to upgrade them. It's like, oh, we know you've figured out the grind now to grind some SBCs with free fodder. We don't want that. We want your coins as well. And it's a bit of a piss take, if I'm honest. I think if we're going to get more and more of this in FC26, which I think we will do, like, unless they're just testing it out now to see what people's reactions are, I just think it's a bit of a piss take that there's no free grind. You can grind coins, can't you? But there's no way of getting it.
Yeah. Well, when they charge 500,000 coins for an Evo, that is remotely worth doing. Is that even practical at that point?
Well,
especially when you have to wait 3 weeks to get the son of a bitch.
That one was just like
wild.
I get it. Yeah, wait 3 weeks, but in this stage of the game, 3 weeks. We're getting to footies. No, you're not using any of those cards that you've put into that.
Yeah.
Like, they're usable now. They're great cards now, but it's just a scam, really, to get your 500 coins off you so that when you eventually get it out of the training camp, you're not going to want to use it.
Maybe the thought process is that since it's a footies Evo, it's not going to be available until footies starts, meaning there's going to be a Team 3 of shapeshifters. More than likely.
There is, yeah, there is.
So I get it, but at the same time, release it later then. Why would you make somebody give up a card for 3 weeks at the stage of the game when they're likely not playing it as much? Case in point, me, I don't play it hardly at all. I play my 3 games a day, if that. And I was playing Warzone before we started recording, and a foot friend of mine said, explain this to me, the SBCs that you're, or the one you just mentioned where you can unlock a card and then you have to pay to upgrade it. I said, yeah, fuck you, that's why.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
Because they can, and people are going to do it.
Yeah. And it,
I'd like to hear Matt's thoughts on that one.
I get it. It's like, if you want a free card, Butra or Yashin or Czech, nice. You've got a card that you can use. They're not great, but you can use them. If you want to make them so they are keeping with a power curve, you've got to spend. I sort of get that way of thinking, but let us do a 600k SBC for that Evo as well. Give that option as well instead of just coins or FIFA points. I think we should have the option via an SBC, especially when there's a exchange grind you can do. It just makes it fun. It's like barriers have been put in place where you can't pass those barriers unless you spend coins or spending time's the aim of the game, innit? Like, we don't mind spending time to get this stuff, but
I think this is the point of the game too, where they're trying some new shit out. Putting feelers out when it doesn't really impact the player base that much, because the only people still playing are your dedicated hardcore players for the most part anyway. So this is the time to do it. Test some new shit out, see how it goes. Mets, what do you think?
Well, precisely what you just said, but also they're trying to get their hooks into people who didn't joined the game at the beginning of the game cycle. They've perhaps picked it up late due to the game being on sale or on EA Play, that kind of thing. And there's some very easy, accessible cards that are going to give someone the feeling that they can relatively compete right away, and then they don't have that kind of spending fatigue that we've had because we've been doing Evos and stuff all year, whereby this game hasn't cost me anything. I've got this card, I'd really like to upgrade it. It's only like a couple of quid or whatever. It's just that last spin of the wheel to get a little bit of monetization in, and hopefully someone has a good experience with whatever it is they're upgrading, and they feel like, that was really enjoyable, I'll get next year's game at the beginning of the cycle. And I think that has a little bit to do with it as well. They're trying to show off a positive side of the game to people who've joined late to try and get them in day one into next year's game, and that's absolutely fine, no issue with that. I think Shapeshifters, though, going back to that as a whole, is quite flawed, and it kind of shows a little bit of backward thinking on EA's part. Let me give you an example. There are 3 cards I can see right away just browsing the squads that are kind of identical. McTominay, Souček, Vieira, all massive central defensive midfielders who have been turned into strikers. This game doesn't support a crossing meta, so having 6'4" central midfielders playing strikers with aerial, aside from corners, ain't going to do shit. So that's pretty pointless. But you're also touting this as a sort of unique novelty promo by turning these into strikers, whereas it was only a couple of years ago we had position changes where we could have made those from CDM to strikers anytime we wanted. It's just not very special. I mean, I think if you're going to shapeshift, you've got to take them out of what we used to perceive as their sort of the central line. If you're a CDM, you could go up to striker, or striker down to CDM, that kind of thing. You need to make them wide, or vice versa. So taking what used to be a feature of the game and then try and sell it to you as a promo feature doesn't excite me in the slightest, unfortunately. This is all stuff that we had at our fingertips. I used to trade on it big time. It's been taken away from us, and now it's back in the form of a promo that's not really very special, unfortunately. So if you're going to shapeshift certain cards, the gameplay styles that you're adding to them need to be sort of relevant to how the game plays. Otherwise, it's just a token gesture. And I think a lot of those cards generally are. I mean, Teo is going to be really effective anywhere on the pitch, so that's fine. But sticking goalkeepers and CDMs up front or whatever, it's just you're not turning them into Ben Yedder type players who are deadly in the box. We can't whip balls into them to get on the end of crosses. It's what are we supposed to do with them exactly? Maybe someone can come up with some incredible target man meta that we haven't quite cracked yet. I think hopefully that'll be more of a thing in next year's game with some of the heroes they're introducing and whatnot. But for now, it's just very flat and quite unexciting and uninspired and ill-conceived, I think.
Yeah.
Good. And I get it, they've boosted some of these cards so that they're better in those positions. But like Cruyff, they've taken some of his shooting away because he's a left mid, which I'm I suppose, yeah, but give him 5 play styles. Don't take his shooting away, just give him the shooting that his other card had. His best card that were already on the market, make him at least as good as that when it comes to shooting if you want him to push this. But I do like the idea. There's some phenomenal cards, but it comes back again to the fatigue. There's just too much stuff going on, which is just shite. Absolute shite. I look at the SBCs on Footbin. We've got one SBC which has a positive upvote by the community, and that was a Carvajal SBC that had 55% upvote, 45 downvote. The rest all are Nkunku got a positive as well, 67-33. The rest are 85% downvote, 77% downvote, 89% downvote, 94% downvote. Like, this can't. When EA see this sort of thing, it can't be a good look for them. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think they care though.
Well,
because people in this community are toxic by nature. There's people who are going to go on there and downvote it no matter what. And most of those downvotes, I guarantee you, they did the downvote and then they still did it anyway.
But do you know? No, I disagree. I think
it's true.
No, I think on Footbin, if you get a good SBC, it's upvoted. Like, I follow those Footbin, and if you get a decent SBC, people will vote in a positive way for it. And it's been downvoted because it's shit.
I do think a lot of the
like
upvoted SBCs though are rinse and repeats of ones that have happened year in year out. People just have an expectancy to get the same thing over and over again, and when they get the one that they had the most fun with the year before, they're happy. They don't like gambling on unknown entities, which is, I think, a big problem with this game in general, is that they don't like make a lot of new star players year in year. They're just leaning on tried and tested concepts, things that they know are going to be popular with the masses, which of course you have to do. It's a business at the end of the day, right? We're not stupid. But if you don't bring up some of the lesser known players, the lesser known leagues, half your database is sitting there doing nothing. And yes, Evos kind of cater to that, but SBCs tie into Evos so closely. Most people are Evoing SBC cards that they've done. We're not really Evoing any gold cards at this stage of the game, right? So you have to anticipate that any card you do in an SBC is going to be in view to Evoing it at a certain point down the line, but it's all the same cards every year, most of the time.
Yeah.
I've already decided, like, I'm a fan of Evos in general, so this isn't me slagging off Evos, but I do find that if you're trying to stick to even like a borderline meta following power curve type of squad, which you didn't this year, Hunter, you did it very differently with MLS as an example. But even me, like, kind of leaning towards Serie A, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a case of almost every Evo I do, a special version of it will come out at some point that will crush my Evo.
Yep.
And then I either have to ditch the Evo or I have to keep on paying to re-Evo if and when it becomes available at a much later date. So I've got content that becomes stale and then I can't use it. I then have to buy the special one or wait for my Evo card to be eligible for the next Evo, which could take ages. So I've kind of decided that in next year's game, I will only Evo cards that are pretty much guaranteed to not get a special card, because I will take them on a journey, and I know that won't be wasted content. Like most of the Evos I've done this year get written off after like a couple of weeks. I mean, they very rarely like become top end cards anyway, but at the very least I want my card to remain somewhat novel. So there's no point me Evoing the type of players that I would normally build squads around, because I know they'll get replaced at some point. So I'm going to find a league for next year to do like an Evo squad like you did, but perhaps even more niche than MLS, probably something like the Argentine League, Sudamericana, or like the Danish Super League, something like that, where they get almost no representation in the game. But they've got some interesting like cards if you're looking at
Chinese Super
body
League
types and stuff like that. So, and it's you always
Korean
get
League.
a bit more pleasure out of beating good meta teams with novelty squads or passion teams, as like someone like
100%.
Zwayback would refer to it, right? You're more emotionally invested in that, and you take more satisfaction out of the wins. So that's going to be the angle I lean into next season. And once I came to that realization now, I might totally disinterested with doing any more Evos this year, because there's no reward for it. It's like I'm making already amazing teams slightly better and having to invest a lot of my time and effort or money to get them. It's just not worth it. I think for me the biggest problem I've had is we got through team of the season. I got the Serie A players I wanted and I became satisfied. Like, I was like very engaged right up until that point, and once I got the players I wanted, I didn't want to play anymore. It's like I'd finished the game. And I don't know if other people feel that way. Some maybe do, some maybe don't. But for me, that was like the culmination of my journey for this year. I got the team I wanted. I did a weekend league with it. Felt good. And I'm done. That's it. There's nothing else that they can give me now that's going to excite me into playing this game again this year, probably. Like, until FC26 comes out, it's going to be like very minimal engagement for me, unfortunately. But yeah, that's like a fatigue thing. It's a seasonality thing. I'm enjoying the nice weather, getting out a bit more, doing other things. It's not all like EA's fault, but these are a combination of factors as to why a lot of people tune out at this stage of the season. There's no like competitive football going on in real life that kind of hypes people up into playing the game. They've been playing all year, slogging it out. How much more do you need to keep upgrading your team realistically to have a good time at this point? I'm sure most people's team of the season cards are still somewhat relevant in the game right now. So what are you playing for? You have to like get genuine, heartfelt enjoyment out of every minute you're playing the game to want to keep on grinding it at this point. Otherwise, most people are just taking a break and getting ready for next year's game, I think.
Yeah. And you mentioned FC26. Well, go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
I think there is still some value left in the game. Do you know what I mean? I think there's still lots of fun to be had. And I know I've just spent the first half an hour absolutely slagging it off.
Yeah,
I've been off work with my leg, haven't I? So I've played a lot. So I've had the opportunity to use lots of different cards, engage in the content. You know, I did that Beckham SPC. He were all right, like decent card. The season pass, there's loads of stuff I've been using from there. Immobile. I use that Alexis Sanchez cam card. He's been quite fun. Tomori. Who else did I use? Oh, that Kaka from the end, the final boss of the season pass. He is phenomenal. Absolutely love that card. I didn't choose Rafael Leao. I chose the pack instead and got absolutely fuck all from that. I've been using that striker Patelis card at right wing. She's been an absolute beast. The orange Fanta cards, Bruno and Ruben Dias. I've used both of those. Although very expensive because they were so rare. That Bruno's been... I don't know if there's a better cam in the game than that Bruno. His passing's absolutely unbelievable. But it's about 1 million coins, so he's not... You know, there is better value cards out there. But yeah, there's still some good stuff there, but I think I'm going to bring it back to the fatigue again. They're demanding too much of us, I think, at this stage of the game. And I know you can say, well, Paul, you big dickhead, you're 45-year-old. Surely you can just sit back and have a minute and not try and keep on top of all this content. But I think, especially when you're doing a podcast, you're trying to keep on top of stuff. You're trying to follow what's going on in the game.
It's a full-time thing, though, isn't it? Like,
it's tough.
The stage of life we're at, and we're working full-time and everything. It's nigh on impossible. And we try and be a voice for the people and drive them into good directions with the game, but it's almost impossible for us to know everything at this point. We've gone from being fanatical and somewhat experts at what's going on to it's too hard to keep up. And yeah, that's not EA's fault. If they want to like drown us in content, that's going to be good for some people, particularly the content makers. But it does feel crap when you can't keep up with it. Like the amount of Evos that go on now, it's just like we've gone from like struggling to get one a week earlier on in the game, we get one every day at least, and trying to find the most efficient way to use them and chain them and everything is, I find, quite frustrating. But that's just me. This is where I'm at, unfortunately. It's one of those things.
And there's no need for all this content. Like I say, all those SBCs that have dropped over the last 2 weeks, and a lot of the Evos actually, like, they're not needed. You don't need to put all that out just for the sake of putting content out. People would rather have no content, I think, than shitty ass content that frustrates life out of you.
Yeah, and when you have it all of this content comes out, and then a day, I think like today, where there was no Evos put out, if I'm not mistaken, then it really feels like shit because you can't even get a shitty Evo.
I don't mind that. I'd rather nothing than than a shitty Evo that you're like, oh, I've got this card that goes into it, but I'll never use it. But you just end up doing it because it's a free Evo. You just end up doing it anyway. And they have, with that at that stage in the game now, where all the people, all the creative people, are now working on FC26. Like, we're back to, like, oh, there you go. I know you're usually the janitor, but look after content for us for a few weeks, will you? What lads are over looking after the FC26? And he's like, yeah, no worries. I'll make you a Lucy Bronze SPC. What? Yeah. So.
Yeah, people aren't going to rush out and do that one, are they?
No. Well, it's let's have a look what.
Oh God.
What Footbin Gang said about it?
Can only imagine.
6% upvoted, 94% downvoted. It had 697 views, 697 votes. Like I said, the icons were a little bit better. Butra got 56.44 in positive. Beckham got 94% upvoted, that's over 1,000 votes. Vidic got 87% downvoted. And then the icon SBCs before that were like Jesus and Moses, something like that fucking long ago.
That's a long time.
Long time.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Controversial.
Yeah. You talked about FC26. I want to talk about it because Foot Sheriff leaked out the pre-order bonuses. And it's if you order by 26th of August, according to him, you get 6 different things. You get an icon untradeable from the start, up to 6,000 FIFA points, an additional Evo slot from the start, Season 1 Premium Pass from the start, 7 days early access, and 1 of 5 player pick 93 plus icon unique evolutions. It doesn't say when you get that, but those are the top 6. It does say and more. And the comments, everybody is so excited about it. So they're getting their claws into people again already.
Well, this is half the problem. Why on earth are we talking about FC26 now?
Because people are ready for it.
People and that's the thing. People are always looking at the next thing.
People look forward to the reset.
Yeah,
it's like it's the best time of the whole game, starting from fresh.
It's a wild thing,
going on a new adventure. It's like no other game that I can think of. Anyway, anyone feel free to correct me in Discord, all that good stuff. But I can't think of another game that compels you to spend money on it for content, for skins, cosmetics, and then makes you happy to trash it in less than 12 months and just go in absolutely clean again. There's nothing like it. It's such a unique beast, and we welcome it. And this is why this stage of the game, in this year's game, it becomes so flat. It's because you put in a lot of time and effort or resource into getting stuff that any day now is going to be completely useless. If there was some way to carry over a limited amount of content into next year's game, more people would be playing the game and enjoying it right now because there'd be a reason to play it and to accumulate content in it. Now, there isn't. So everyone's just like, right, well, no point putting more effort into this year's game. Bring on next year's game. I want it now because that's worth my time and effort. And I've always said it. I like the first couple of months of the game more than any other point in the game because people are using cards that aren't so OP, that have flaws in them. You have to be a little bit more ingenuitive about the squad you build and whatever. and before we all start falling into how do we get Hullet back as quick as possible sort of routine, which is how it's definitely been for the last few years. And then when they dropped Zidane as well, good on you, EA. That was real smooth. But that's a big part of the issue. It's like people actually want to burn their club off because they want to start again.
And as soon as they start again, they want the best cards in the game.
Yeah, but it's the fun is the chase. Once you get it, it's game over, right?
Yeah.
Or it will be not too long afterwards. It's the grind, the accumulation, the journey you go on to get to that point, and people enjoy that aspect of it. And I'm not saying they don't care about losing all their old content. I'm sure they do, but if you just kept it all forever, it would be super boring, right? But I think in order to sustain the end stage of each year's game cycle, there should be a means to carry over something, even if it's just like one card, one Evo, something. But not like the super high-end stuff that you're doing in Shapeshifters, because that would break the start of next year's game, but something that you can carry over. And I don't just mean like grinding friendly so you get a couple of packs in next year's game. I mean actual content that you're going to give a shit about, whatever that happens to be. I don't know. That's something that I think they need to think about, that they clearly haven't done in the last 15 years, because everything's been plain sailing. But I think we are getting to that point now where their audience is dropping off just a little bit, and they need to think about how they finish a cycle potentially affects the next one, sort of thing. But everyone loves the start of the game. It's hype. Like all the streamers, the content makers are back. Everyone's looking for solutions online, new tactics, all that good stuff, figuring out the meta again. I'm not going to say it's like getting Ultimate Team again for the first time, because it's absolutely not. It's nowhere near that exciting, but it's something to look forward to every year, way more so than what promos coming out in June, because they're all dead after several weeks of Team of the Season, right?
Yeah, I do actually hate that part of the game where all these nice footies cards that I've now got, I'm having to stop playing with those to go play with some shitty ass gold card that don't get me wrong, I love figuring out the new game and what's good, what's not good, but yeah, I do like I do like this end of the year where you get all these mad crazy cards that can do it all. And I don't know if I preferred it before we got tied down by play styles. I think that's taken a little bit out of it for me. I think now, like, your cards have got to have these play styles to do that stuff, where previously I think a good card were a good card, whether it had...
Yeah, they're hiding features behind paywalls, essentially.
Yeah.
That's not great.
And I would be okay with that as long as the game were free to play. But if you're paying for the game and you're having to pay for additional features, that's what drives me up the wall with gaming companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a good way of looking at it for the gaming public as a whole. I think people like us who are too entrenched to give a shit, quite frankly, about $50 or $60, it's not going to make any difference. But yeah, in principle,
correct,
it absolutely should be free to play, especially as they get you to burn all the content you've paid for every year.
Willingly.
They have got the most like unicorn business model of a game that's ever existed, and I don't think it'll last forever, but they're going to enjoy the gravy train whilst it lasts. People who are prepared to pay up front at the point of entry and continue to spend throughout and give up their content every 12 months are the best customers in the world. Yeah. So they're going to keep doing it.
Like Dryside's just said there in the chat, like he built a full Northern Ireland team, 94 rated. He's done it. But then you can't carry any of that over. Do you know what I mean? And for a lot of people who've done crazy Evo teams, when they sit down and work out how much they've spent on these Evos, like I've done a few Evos with FC points, and I don't know how much I've spent, but it won't be nothing. Do you know what I mean? And some people have gone all out to make their best Northern Ireland team or the best whatever team. The fact that you can't carry that over is mad, and that you're dying to do it again, spend it again. Dryside said he won't, but there'll be a lot of people who can't wait to get some new cards in.
The bin dippers are going to make like a historical Liverpool best team past and present. The second the game comes out, they'll start working on it because that's what they do. That's all they're interested in is Liverpool content, which is quite funny. But basically, we're trying to turn Ultimate Team into exhibition mode. I just want to play as Liverpool and Ultimate Team. I'm going to pay for the privilege to do it.
Pay a lot too.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You can just go play with a Liverpool team in I don't know what the mode they call it.
Kickoff.
Kickoff.
Yeah, exhibition mode.
Yeah,
career mode.
Go play Liverpool.
There was quite a few people in the comments complaining about no career mode benefits for pre-ordering.
Oh, well.
Like,
do you know what?
What's mad about career mode, dude?
Those career mode, because they get mad.
That's fucking strange behavior.
They love it. There's I've got a friend or two who's loves that career mode.
How do they not get bored with it though?
I don't know. But
I'm sure they say the same thing about us.
I mean, there's no toxic opponents they get to watch, celebrate, and do.
Yeah. They're like, look at you, retards.
Missing out.
You spend all this time and effort and money to get these teams, and then they take it off you. At least we're just bombing away on career mode. Not having put up with all this shite that you guys deal with. At least we don't even have content.
Do they still have an Alex Hunter career mode?
No, they don't.
No.
It was meant for years, right?
Like they took him away from us and kept that quiet.
Yeah, there is some leaks though. That I've seen, and I don't know if it's going to be similar or whatever. It's going to be like an open world type thing in FC 26.
Open world.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I don't know how this sounds.
So what'll happen is you'll be
Can I
able
ride
to
a horse?
walk from one stadium to next. I'll play five-a-side, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be like a create-a-player RPG type silly bollocks, which I'm not interested in.
Hey, want to play soccer?
Your option,
Then
yes.
that'll be it, yeah.
No.
Yes or no?
Slap him in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's really exciting news. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks. This is what I'm here for.
Yeah. I wonder if we can ride a scooter from the training ground to the medical facility.
Did you guys talk about the changes to Weekend League in my absence?
I think so.
How they're like splitting the player pool into like.
No. I don't think we got into details on it, but.
Yeah, I don't think we've got much detail, to be honest. I think it just basically it was you've got like half decent players and great players.
Politely, yeah.
I'm just
Tinnies,
you know what though? This is
no
I'm gonna get stiffed here.
The shit player pool is here, and then elite player pool.
Well, the problem is it's not elite because I'm going to be in this higher division, but I'm going to be at the bottom, getting spanked by everyone.
But at least you'll get the rewards.
But I won't. I'll just get spanked every week, and I'll be like,
"That's true." You don't think you'd get like a participation trophy?
Then I'll be one of those who's like, "Let's go down with."
We will become fodder for the elite.
Yeah,
is kind of what we're getting.
Sounds like we're just washed.
We washed.
More than
you know what? I think we might just be coming to the realization that we're just too old for this shit.
I've been understanding that forever. That's why I don't play Weekend League anymore.
It's my favourite thing.
I have been skull dragging people in Rivals this last week, though. So there's that.
Yeah. Even with your MLS team.
Yeah, I mean, I've fallen down to Division 7, but, you know, hey. Actually, I think we got into 6 last night.
Yeah. I've been playing on my second account, and that's actually been quite fun, sort of playing in Div 5 or whatever. And
what's the highest you guys have gotten this year?
1.
I was 1 win away from 1 at one point.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think 2 or 3 is my level.
Yeah, that's my level. 2, 3. Like
I got into 1 and I regretted it immediately, and that was in the first season.
Yeah.
And I said I'm never doing this again, and I didn't.
And I've no desire to get back into 1. Like all the people in 1 and elite complain
if
about
that's
how
your thing,
sweaty it is. So like,
if that's
I'm
your
all right
thing, if
there
you
in
need
2-3.
if you need the sweaty games, if you need the ultra competitive games to enjoy the game, that hey, good for you. More power to you. That shit ain't for me.
That was me like 15 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
But I don't have the time or inclination. To do that. And that's when I thought I was like a top 1%
I
player
like
in
to.
this game, and I know I'm not anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I used to play FIFA sitting up in my chair. Like now I like to get home. I like to sit back in my chair and play games and relax. I don't want to have to.
Oh,
You know.
you need one of those handheld Xboxes that are coming out then.
Well, I've already
What?
looked at them. And I just bought the fucking ROG Ally X like 8 months ago, and now they came out with a new one. That's how it goes.
That's why you like upgrading everything.
I do.
You're taking that money you used to waste on Ultimate Team and now wasting it on technology.
Yeah. Hey, I got a 4080 for sale if anybody's interested. So
What?
there's that. A graphics card. Actually, you need a graphics card.
I do. Is it external?
Can be.
I heard you talking about eGPUs last week.
There we go. So you didn't
God
real-
damn it! Don't fucking do that.
you didn't realize I'd become a tech guy while you were off, did you, Matt?
Message like you should have bought
eGPU
the Apple.
fucking use. Yeah, exactly. You could get a whole
Do
computer.
you know what
that
though?
would
I'd be still
run
fucking
through
figuring that out
ripples,
now.
or-
I wouldn't have managed to get a podcast done if I'd have bought the
Dude.
Apple.
That Mac
But-
would have whooped your ass, dude.
Well, before every podcast, I'd have been like, Matt, what's this
Yeah.
bullshit again? Can you tell me what? And then I'd be like,
Well,
You-
Matt
you
would have
guys
been too
would
busy.
like- tell you what,
Our
let's just sack
premium
him off the
content
podcast. He can't even work his
is-
fucking MacBook
Next
PC.
is Mac Clinic, and Paul will be my early customer.
Yeah. But
If Mets didn't answer the phone, he would call me, and I would have to block him because I don't have the answers.
I like this little thing. I just switch it on.
It is nice.
We're good.
Yeah. Cool.
Powerful enough for what I need. Apart
Is this the
from
part
the
where
fact
we
that I
just
need
like
an-
derail from foot and start talking about random life stuff?
Yeah, like
No.
last week we were just chatting.
We-
What were we
digress.
chatting about last week? And
Dude,
you were
you-
just like,
You couldn't close the show, man. You were just
I can't. I'm a bad host. I'm a bad host. I just couldn't.
not bad. Just
Waffling.
wordy.
Just waffling.
I don't really have anything else to talk about with the game at this point, unless you guys do.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm somewhat out of the loop. So
Yeah.
I'm relying on you guys. You got to carry my ass.
And I'm just like barely engaged. But I'm here for the vibes. That's what the kids say.
I've put a positive slant on it. Like, I've ran my course with this year's game. I keep an eye on the content, kind of. I'll even do a tiny bit of trading if I'm bored. But I'm genuinely now like in the waiting room for next year's game. That's just where I'm at right now. And you know, all the power to our listeners and people in our Discord who are still out there grinding, doing their thing. If you need to take a break, don't feel guilty for it. You know, go play another game for a while. Go outside, spend some time with your significant other, whatever it happens to be. It's all good.
You go. You go on. You quitters. You just go and do that. Well, the rest of us are out here still in the game. But no, in all seriousness, I went in our Discord today and in our sponsors lounge, and I was surprised how many people are done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but they're still hanging around, so that means they're interested in
That's
what's
because the
coming
Footballers
next.
Discord is where it's at. Man.
and I think these are guys who, if they're not playing the game, they'll still be about in Discord. But a lot of them are saying they're not buying next year. They're not
I
buying.
think a lot of people say that
Well,
every year.
I
to
said
be
that
fair.
every year for the last 4 years.
You do, yeah, you do.
I'm
say
saying it
that.
again this year, but we'll
you
see.
say, "Here, we'll see, we'll see." I never say that. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying it. Of course, I'm buying it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
At least you're true to yourself.
I'm still
I like
playing.
to lie to myself.
Yeah, just it gives you a bit of excitement, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. Buy it. Shit. Yeah, like
And
that.
you know, the 1 year that I actually stuck to my word was FIFA 17. So I'm done with this shit. I'm not playing it anymore. Takes up too much of my time. I'm done. I didn't buy it. Christmas comes around and we have like a family. Everybody we draw names and everybody gets somebody from the family, like cousins, whatever, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. You buy a gift for them. My sister-in-law got me FIFA 17. And there I
Wow,
was.
She's got a lot to answer for.
What,
You could
me?
have been out.
It's all her fault. I tell her all the time.
You guys are rich. We get each other a fucking packet of Maltesers.
What?
It's a box of candy,
Oh,
chocolate.
a Maltese is a dog, I thought. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm trying to be funny, but it just didn't land because nobody
Did
knows
not.
what Maltesers are. Anyway,
Some chocolate salty balls. How about that?
They're good. They're good.
All right. Oh, what I was going to say, a lot of people that I've spoke to this week have been playing Rematch. There's this new, looks like Fortnite made a football game. I think it's free to play, if I'm not mistaken. They say it's a lot of fun with co-op with your friends. They said it's sort of like Rocket League, but with little characters that look like Fortnite characters. They said the controls are a little wonky and different than what you're used to if you're comparing it to Foot, but a lot of my friends are playing it, and they're playing it for a long period of time. So it looks like it might be worth trying if you have a group of guys you want to play with. Haven't tried it yet, but if anybody wants to, hit me up. I'm down.
Yeah. It does look like, actually, that it would be fun, because it's very manual, isn't it? It does look like it would be fun if you're playing with mates. If you're playing with rush tards, it's over. Do you know what I mean?
There you go. In a nutshell.
You heard it here.
And if you're antisocial like me, you're completely
You're
screwed.
finished, yeah.
Actually, I'm going to download it right now. I'm thinking about it.
I'm not.
Come on.
No.
You don't want to
I
try
really
it?
don't like how games
Maybe in a
going
couple of
into
weeks.
this, like, you have to play with a group of people on the reg to get value out of it. It's like, whatever happened to be that game has been for sad fucks who just stay in and don't talk to people.
Yeah,
I built my whole life around that concept, and now
Yeah.
I'm getting like punished for it.
Yeah, game was
Rematch
the only
is
time
not-
to talk to people when they were abusing each other in lobbies, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like now, they've got to be all friendly and that.
It is not free to play, by the way. There's that.
I'm out.
Oh well,
For
For
no
that
wish
reason,
chance.
I'm out.
Yeah, see you later. I'll see you in FC 26, boys.
Uh,
I'm trying to see what it is on
$60,
console.
maybe 100.
What it costs on console? $30, so $30 US. I don't know what that is, and probably
too much.
25.
That's what that is.
$30
Too
to
much
spend
is what
time
that
with
is.
people online.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna have to look into this more before I give them my money.
Yeah.
You'll do it. You've got
Oh.
so much money. It's not even. Funny.
You have so much money. You just
There's a
went on
rugby
vacation
league
for
game
like a
coming
year.
up somewhere. There's a rugby league
Wonderful.
game coming out soon, apparently.
A what?
A rugby league game coming out soon.
Who makes it?
Shout out to all my M62 motherfuckers.
Is it made by EA?
No, I don't think so.
Good. Hopefully, it's not made by Konami though.
EA made a good rugby game once, like Rugby World Cup '95 on the Mega Drive Stroke Genesis.
That
Really
was
good game.
wrong rugby though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like Union, but it was still a good game though.
Cool.
I'm just trying to find out what it's called. Oh, Rugby League 26. Oh, that
Very
were
creative. Yeah.
very,
Wouldn't have
very
guessed.
creative.
Would have never guessed.
Very creative.
Cool. Yeah, well, I'm off to try Rematch because why not?
Why not, indeed?
What else you guys got? We're good?
Indeed.
I think we're good. We're digressing now, aren't we? So.
Very much so. Thanks for the input there, Dry Side. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
And thanks to everybody who's still listening at this point. You're really a trooper.
you really are.
You're a real
You
one.
really are.
You just like being here.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
I would have turned
we
it
do.
off.
We do appreciate it. We do appreciate it.
Anyway, we'll be back next week and hopefully a little bit more enthusiastic. I'm going to do my best to try to get more
Well, you're
enthusiastic.
going to give us a rematch review, so
I'll do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
we go. All right. Go download Rematch. Catch you next week.
Liz.